Hello, and welcome to We Like Chips. Today, you're here with me, Roberto, and my co host and best friend, David. Say hi, David.
That's me. Hey. So, what's up, everybody? Instead of chips, though, I'm eating this right now, which
Oh,
fruit snacks are cool too, right?
okay, random thing. It's calling. Okay, you're my co host. We're co hosts, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like when I said my co host, I wasn't trying to say like I'm in charge because I'm not. We're equals. But
Roberto's better than me.
no, you know what I mean, though, right? I was like, is that weird? I don't know. We haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, it's awkward now. Okay.
Yeah, people actually asked me about the podcast when it was coming back. Okay, I had like 4 people, which is not a lot, but it's 4 more than I expected. To be fair.
True.
So,
and it's coming back right now.
Yeah. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Me and David took a sabbatical.
What does that mean?
Sabbatical is when you take like a small break.
Is that not hiatus?
Kind of. It's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So at first we had decided to just take off a couple of weeks for the holidays, but then shit hit the fan.
The Fire Nation attacked.
Dude, everything that could have gone wrong the past couple months has gone wrong. I mean, I'm going through stuff. David's going through stuff. I don't know how much you want to talk about, David, but I personally went through a loss in the family, and everything's okay now. But that took time away. Obviously I had to deal with stuff and also cope with it, along with other things. And I don't know if you want to share on your end of things. 'Cause I think once I started feeling better, you had your own stuff going on.
True. Well, after Christmas break, I went to CES, which is great, amazing. I guess wouldn't go again because during CES I got COVID.
What's CES for us that don't speak nerd?
It stands for Consumer Electronics Show. So basically, all the big tech companies go there at Las Vegas and they share what they're selling next, what's brand new. But a lot of the companies like Google, Amazon, all the big ones didn't. A lot of the big ones didn't come today this year because of COVID, and good reason because that's when I got it. And it's not fun. I was sick for 2 weeks, and I had to take off work for 1 week, and I took it slow the next week, and it's not. Don't get COVID, guys. Okay, careful.
So I remember David told me he got COVID, and I'm glad you're feeling better. But I remember I called you, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" And you're like, "I'm good. I just woke up. I'm feeling kind of hungry." And I was like, "Oh, what are you gonna eat?" And I expected him to be like, "I'm gonna get some soup. Gonna get some powerful greens, anything that's good for you, right?" And David's like, "I'm looking at a burger and fries." I was like, Jesus, dude, what the?
I was craving a burger.
I mean, I told him that, I'm all for eating burgers, and eating healthy, but when I'm sick, I usually try to like soup or like just protein and greens and just healthy. So I just thought it was funny because I was like, what are you doing, dude? Your body needs superfood right now.
I put extra lettuce in. Does that count?
Speaking of our bodies deteriorating and stuff, yesterday was David's birthday. He's 27 now. We're the same age for the next 6 months.
You can't just give out my age to the public, bro. Now they know.
Okay, you can bleep that and post. Just bleep it. Just put a bleep.
Bloop, bloop. It was David's bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, thank you. Almost turning 30. Trying to find myself and what my purpose is in life. I guess it's been a real struggle for me, a lifelong struggle ever since graduating from college.
I think it's so funny because I feel like we both kind of have similar journeys with mental health. Where as soon as we graduated, we both kind of just took a fat L and just started like having mental issues. I think, as I've read about stuff, I'm not a professional, obviously, just reading up, but reading work that professionals have done, seems like whenever you accomplish like a big goal, it's in a way, just because the way human nature works, you would think that it would make you feel accomplished, and it does, but what comes after that, it's like, what's next? And you feel like a loss of purpose and a loss of like direction. And I know the only goal I've ever really had was graduate college. So after that, I've just been trying to discover, and it's been like 6 years now, like 6 years. So just trying to figure out what I want out of life and why I want it. And, I know you're going through a similar thing. But you're doing well, David. I mean, you're up and coming, and you're handsome. You're tall. You dress well. You're funny. You go to nerd conventions.
You go to nerd convention. Well, thanks. I mean, it's you yourself, I guess. I mean, you know more than me, even though because you're older and stuff. So, what are you
Okay,
talking
6
about?
months, dude. What the heck?
What are you talking about?
Well,
You're doing great.
I feel like we both have like similar things with mental health that we're both working on, but
Yeah,
it's a
true.
journey. It's a marathon, not a
That's
sprint,
why
right? And
I
we'll
don't
figure it
know,
out.
we watch movies to kill time, right? We watch that. Oh,
Escapism. I don't know how this got so dark. I think it kind of reflects how we're both feeling right now, right? Because I know we're both
it's
going through it.
it's like quarter life crisis, I guess.
Yes,
Not
but
very
we're
much a
not
crisis.
we're not here to talk about us. Our listeners don't care about us, dude. They care about Harry Potter. They're here to listen.
To listen to the good stuff.
To listen to us talk about Harry Potter, dude.
Yeah.
They don't care, dude. Come on, what are you, dude?
So last time we were talking about movies 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna talk about 4 and 5. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. The Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix. There we go.
Yeah. So just as a reminder to everyone, this is my first time watching him. David's a long time watcher, and I came in knowing very little about the series. So, and my first impression from the first 3 movies, which we talked about in our last episode, was that I liked them, but I didn't quite love them, and I had a lot of things that I wish I did better.
It is a kids movie, so you gotta be
Yes.
critical about that.
Yeah, that was the first 3 movies, but these next 2 movies, I actually liked them a lot. Actually, I was really pleasantly surprised at how well the story moved forward this time. I feel like pieces are falling into place, and I mean it's not perfect, and there's at times where the movie's really cheesy, but the story's getting darker. It's making more sense. I'm starting to understand what's at stake now, along with just piecing some things together that I didn't before.
True. Yeah. It all gets, summed up together. It's really nice.
Did
As
you
you go
watch these
on.
in the theater back then?
I don't know. I watched
You
them.
didn't?
Yeah, I watched them in the living room with
Oh,
some popcorn on the side.
when was this? How old were you?
That was last year actually.
Oh, okay. So you're not even a long time watcher. You've only been watching. For
Yeah, I
like
don't know where that came from.
Dude, after we finish these, we should go to like the Harry Potter universe.
Sure. The Universal Studio.
Yeah, unless you want to go with
I'm down. We can go.
isn't
I'll
there someone
dress-
you want to go with
I'll
instead?
dress as Ron. I want to be Ron.
Yeah, who do you identify yourself with most in this movie so far?
I want to spoil it for you, so I can't say it.
I mean, no one from the first 5 movies.
From the first 5 movies, I want to be Ron. I want to be the guy who's the idiot.
But you're not an idiot.
That helps out. That helps out,
Dude. Okay. Well, let's get into the movies. Okay, so Order of the Phoenix. No, sorry, not Order of the Phoenix. Sorry, Goblet of Fire.
Come on,
Movie number 4.
you can't skip my favorite movie like that.
So I'll say this much. Okay, so first impressions, I like the movie. I've actually heard that a lot of people don't like this movie as much. I don't know why. I still think number 2 is probably the weakest.
Yes, it's the best movie. Okay, it has David Tennant in it. Okay, it has
Oh yeah,
Edward from Twilight in it. It's the best movie.
yeah. I know you're a Doctor Who fan, right? And like the bad guy in this movie is was a Doctor Who character, right? Or an
Yeah.
actor.
The 10th Doctor.
So this movie, okay, so it starts out with Harry having a vision in which he sees I forgot the name of the character, the 10th Doctor. What's the name of that character?
Something Junior.
Yeah, I remember the junior part. Let me see if I can find it real quick just for listeners. Barty Crouch Jr. is who he played, David Tennant.
Yes.
So in this vision, we see a old handyman walk into a fetus looking Voldemort, and then they kill off the Muggle. Right, he's a human being, and then Harry wakes up. They go to see like the World Cup for Quidditch,
Quidditch, yeah.
and then when they're there, I think, isn't it Barty Crouch that appears and summons the Dementors?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
He summons like they did summon the mentors, but he summons
the Death Eaters.
the Death Eaters with the
Okay.
Voldemort looking cloud thing.
Yeah. Dementors and Death Eaters look pretty similar. Are they not the same thing?
No, one of them's like eat your soul. One of them's a person.
Oh, okay. Oh, Death Eaters are people. Yeah, you're right.
Death Eaters are people. They just have masks. I guess they look like.
Okay. So they have the Death Eaters come to the World Cup, right? There's like a camp, right, site where they do this, and they attack the tournament. After that, they go back to Hogwarts, and Dumbledore announces they're having the Triwizard Tournament, right? And they have the Durmstrang Institute from Bulgaria and Booksbottom's Academy from France. Did I say it right?
It's
Probably not. It's okay.
Sure. The intros were cool, right? I thought the intros were cool.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. So the movie production on the production value of these movies is pretty nutty. Like, it's one of the things that I really like about these movies. You could tell there's a lot of practical effects that go into play, which make the movies just a lot easier and less cheesy to just watch in general. So then, so yeah, they have the Academy from France is an all-girls school, right? And for some reason, they're gonna have one person from each school participate, and they're not letting anyone below the age of 17, right, to participate. Is that correct?
That has to be an age limit for some reason.
So then I think also during this time they introduce Moody, what's his name? Mad-Eye Moody as the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher.
Yeah.
During this time, they eventually get out. They eventually, like a few days later, they pull out the names out of the Goblet of Fire, and they choose Cedric, which is Edward Cullen.
Hell yeah.
What's his name?
Something Fleur.
Yeah, so Victor Crumb from the Durmstrang Institute and Fleur Delacour. So they have those three people, but then a fourth champion is selected, which is Harry, and people are really confused because number one, there's only supposed to be 3 champions, and number 2, no one below that age limit was supposed to be selected. And the way you get selected is by you throw in your name into the Goblet of Fire, and the Goblet of Fire chooses like the 3 candidates.
Yeah, but he didn't put his name in there, so
so he didn't put his name in it, and they show that if you try to put your name in it and you're under the age limit, the goblet would just spit out your name. So someone else must have done it. Yeah. So for the first task, they have to collect an egg from a dragon. And so first of all, if you're an anime watcher, you probably watch this movie because it's like a traditional shonen tournament, I thought that was cool. They have all these different things, and what was cool was that they allowed for creativity to be used at these competitions, right? It wasn't like a one way to beat each challenge. It was like you do it different ways, and I think you see that one the best in the second challenge. But in the first challenge, we don't get to see how the other people do it, but Harry gets informed that he can there'll be dragons. So then and before this, I don't know details. So at this point, so he gets informed there's gonna be dragons, and at this point, him and Ron had a fight because for some reason the writers decided that during this movie, Ron Weasley needed to be a little bitch, and they make it out to be a little bitch, and he just crying the whole time about how cool Harry is. And he just, this movie, when you say Ron, dude, Ron sucks. This guy sucks. Like, straight up, dude. Like, he's done absolutely nothing. And, like, he spends the whole movie crying, like, Harry's so much cooler than me.
It's because he got his girl taken away, okay?
Yeah, but not at that point. Also, he was a dick to her first, okay?
That's true.
So, but we can get into that later. So then, Ron tells Harry about the dragons. And then, so Harry has to brainstorm because he's not allowed to use magic for these competitions, but you can use like magical objects. So he figures out a way to sneak in his broom. And as you guys have probably known at this point, he's a very talented broom rider. So he's riding the broom, and then the dragon escapes with a weak ass chain, dude. Okay, like these people can cast magic, but they can't even get a good ass chain, dude. Like I don't know, cast a spell on that chain, dude. And then, so then he eventually, I think the part that was weird, I think the dragon hits himself against the bridge, and then he just dies, which was weird. I was like, okay, well that's convenient. So then Harry comes back, gets the egg. Everyone cheers for him. Everyone's really happy that he's alive, and the egg has a clue.
It had to be somebody from that hinted it at him, right?
Yeah, someone hinted at him. Cedric did. So Harry. Okay.
Oh yeah, Cedric. Yeah. And then go to the girls' restroom, whatever.
So these two movies are super long. So there's like a lot of details along the way that we might have to go back and remind people. But the whole school is bullying Harry because they're kind of. I don't know why everyone's so mad at Harry. I guess because Harry's attracting all this attention, and he's also people think he cheated to get into the Goblet of Fire. So then people walking around the school with Harry Stinks badges, and then Harry tells Cedric, I guess because they go to the same school, that there'll be dragons, so he should be ready.
Dragon.
After that, so to return the favor, he tells them like, hey, you should open that egg underwater. So then he goes underwater.
The girls' restroom. Was it the
girls' restroom? I don't think it was. No, it wasn't the girls' restroom.
It was just the public bath.
I think it was guys' restroom, but it was what's his name?
What's her name? Mabel. I don't know what her name is.
Yeah, well, dude, how are we so bad with names?
The girl who died in the second movie, or who appeared in the second movie.
Wait, look that name up.
In the Chamber of Secrets.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Ghost girl. Myrtle Warren.
Yeah, that one, Myrtle. Don't they call it like Screaming Myrtle or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, so he opens the egg at a hot tub, and then he starts flirting with the ghost, and the ghost is like coming onto him like super hard. It was super awkward. What an awkward scene. It was weird, but he opens the egg underwater, and I think the egg essentially tells him the clue, right? That in the next competition, he needs to be able to like breathe underwater.
Yeah.
So after that, I think, what's his name? Neville Longbottom tells him if he eats his one plant, he'll be able to like swim underwater really well, and also
grow
like,
gills and
underwater.
Stuff. Yeah.
So then, and everyone does it different ways, right? I think so Harry does that. I think dang, I forgot how the other people did it, but you can see how everyone does it in different ways. I thought that was really interesting. But as they're going down, what's his name? Fleur Delacour is something happens to her, so she can't complete the task when they're underwater. And underwater, they're supposed to save someone of value of them. So Harry has to save Ron. Cedric is saving Cho, which Cho is Harry's love interest.
You missed the whole ball scene before.
Oh yeah. Before this, they actually announced that there's gonna be a ball, like a prom, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be a prom.
Cringy.
Yeah, it's so cringy. And then all the guys have to ask girls, and nobody wants to ask anyone out. And then Harry and I don't understand how Harry and Ron like can't pull any girls, dude. They're handsome, they're popular. Why are they struggling so much, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. But then finally Harry asks Cho out, right? And Cho is his love interest, just for Cho to reject them because she's going with Cedric, which is Edward Cullen's character. And then so Cedric is saving Cho.
Are you misremembering?
No, sorry. Cedric's saving Cho, Harry saving Ron, Victor saving Hermione, and then the Fleur is saving one of her classmates.
Okay.
Fleur gets knocked out, so she can't continue. So then Harry gets down there first to the bottom of the ocean to save him, but then he frees Ron, but he doesn't leave because he wants to free the other person because he doesn't want her to die.
Exactly.
Cedric gets there, saves Cho, and Victor saves Hermione. And then Harry saves the other girl, and he actually has to fight off like these like sea creatures to do it because you're not supposed to. They're supposed to be real stakes, but he saves them, and then so Harry comes in last, well third I guess technically, not last because last would have been the other girl, and
yeah.
And then they go up to the top. They're like, okay, first place is Cedric. and technically Harry's third place. But because he saved the other girl, let's give him second place. Because my name is Dumbledore. Emphasis on dumb, and I make up arbitrary point systems that will favor whoever I want.
I can do whatever I want. Plot convenience.
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty dumb, but I mean, how else is Harry gonna get to the next part?
But the thing is, what was the point? No, because they all made it to the last round, right?
Yeah.
Or at least I remember they all made it to the last round, so I don't understand why they had to even make the point system thing, but whatever. Okay, so he goes to Dumbledore's office and he enters a pensieve in which he is able to, like, I think go through Dumbledore's all memories, right?
Yeah.
And he sees the trial of Igor Karkaroff, which is one of the current headmasters of Drumstrang, which happened during Dumbledore's first downfall. And then at this point, they're asking him to out all of Voldemort's servants, and he says Snape, but Snape is actually protected by Dumbledore, saying he was actually a double agent.
Yeah.
And then Karkaroff exposes Barty Crouch Jr., which is the son of the guy that we just found out is dead. And Harry, that's the first time Harry realizes who that guy in his nightmare was from the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then, so for the third task, they had to go in this maze, and they had to find the Triwizard Cup, right?
In the middle, yeah.
And I think Cedric gets caught.
The walls are alive.
Yeah, so Victor and the girl, like, pretty much get neutralized really early. So it's just Harry against Cedric, and then Cedric gets caught by, like, these vines, and Harry goes back and frees him, and they go and get the cup at the same time so they can do, like, a draw.
Yeah.
And then, but turns out to be a, what do you call it? Hotkey? No, not hotkey. Keyport, right?
A keyport.
Yeah, a keyport. And
keyport.
Yeah, a keyport, and they go to, like, Voldemort's hideout, in which is it Pettigrew? Yeah, Pettigrew is pretty much brings Voldemort back to life. He does like a little like a what do you call it? Like a spell in which he does, like, what is it, like, one bone unwillingly from the father.
You remember all that?
It was like one blood unwillingly from, like, Harry and all this stuff. And then we finally see Voldemort, and it's like, what do you call it? Like, final evolution, if you want to call it that.
Flattened nose to her face.
Yeah. I like his design, actually. It's pretty intimidating, pretty scary, and very unique. I don't think I've seen anything like that, at least as a bad guy.
Yeah, that's what he made him to do.
So as soon as they get there, they see this, and Pettigrew kills Cedric right away. By the way, the abracadabra spell is so anticlimactic. Anytime they kill someone with that spell, is so anticlimactic. I feel like I'm like, wait, did that kill them? Like, it, whatever. I mean, I'm just nitpicking.
It's the most powerful spell of them all, bro.
Yeah, but it's one of the forbidden ones, right?
Yeah, that's why they went through all that in the previous movies. Like, you're not supposed to say this, use a spell because it's forbidden. But it's cool, I guess, because they've, like, Harry and Voldemort use it at the same time, right? And they got this, like, like Goku is like the Goku kind of fight, like they use Kamehameha against each other.
Yeah, and then so I think Harry's getting his ass handed to him, right?
Yeah,
but
pretty
then
much.
but then we see the ghosts of the people who Voldemort had recently killed, right? And you see, I think, Cedric and was it Harry's parents that we saw too? I think
his parents were there. They attack him.
So then Harry uses the keyport to get back to the school with Cedric's dead body, and so Harry tells Dumbledore, he was killed by Voldemort, and then he goes to Moody's office, and then while he's there, he self-reports because he's like, oh, who else was at the graveyard? And Harry's like, I never said there was a graveyard. And then he's like, anyway, so eventually Moody's about to, like, I think kill Harry or something. And then everyone walks in, right? Snape, Dumbledore, and someone else come in. And they use the Truth Serum to find out that he's actually Barty Crouch Jr., who was using the Polyjuice Potion to impersonate
the doctor the whole time.
Moody, yeah. And then, let me finish this I guess the summary, and then we can talk about it. But after this, they, So then once they do the truth spell, they find out the real Moody is, like, imprisoned in, like, this one, what do you call it, chest? Like a chest?
Like a chest, yeah.
and he's sent to
In the
Azkaban.
third movie.
And at the end of they celebrate that the games are over, which was really weird because someone had just died and they were celebrating.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Someone's dead, but thanks for coming.
And then they told the Ministry that Cedric was the cover of Voldemort, but the Ministry does not want to, I guess, raise panic or acknowledge these claims. So then they ignore them, and
That's the movie. Finn.
Yeah. So this movie, I don't know what my thoughts are. I mean, I have. Can you give me your thoughts first?
I love it. It's great.
It is pretty great. I think now that I've watched the fifth one, I'm kind of torn between the fourth and fifth one. I like them both a lot, actually. But I think when I first watched the fourth one, the Goblet of Fire, I thought it was pretty good. Like, I really, really liked it. I thought the pacing was good. The storyline was good. It was action packed. Maybe that's what I was missing from the previous films. I wanted to be more action packed.
Yeah.
And
it's all storytelling.
I finally got to see Harry like really push himself. I feel like the first three movies didn't really show us that much. But this movie finally showed us Harry like really pushing himself and how he compares to other people and his like magic skills. And you even get to see that more in the next movie. I like the Cedric character a lot. I think something that I've realized as I watch these movies is, while these movies are good, is made me realize that a lot of these characters, if they were fleshed out just a little bit more, I feel like I would just love these movies so much more. But I understand the movie's already long as it is, and it's I don't think there's a lot that I don't think they're wasting a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the nature of it being a movie and not being able to flesh out characters as much as they wish they could.
That's why you should read the book, Roberto.
Yeah. So that's making me want to read the books. Because I feel like I want to know more about the other schools. I want to know more about Cedric. I want to know more about Cho. But I understand it's limited. I don't think it makes it. It doesn't necessarily take away from the movie, but it could make the movie so much better if they actually took the time to flesh out these characters. I thought the competitions were really fun. Like the first one, like the dragon chase, and then Harry having to use his like talk to his friends to get advice on how to get through these stages. What else? The way they manipulated Harry so he would end up winning so he could go to Voldemort's, I guess, cemetery. And it explains why they needed Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire,
they just needed his blood. A very convoluted way to get him to go over there and get his blood.
Yeah, actually. I was bummed when Cedric died. I guess something we missed was the whole Ron and Hermione love triangle, right? Thingy.
Yeah. She looked great, by the way, in that dress. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I thought in the movie Ron can't find a date. Oh my god, dude, Ron sucks. I already said that, but he sucks in this movie because he can't get a date, and then he's like, Hermione, you're a girl. You want to go with me? I guess, bro, because you're a chick and I'm a dude. And she's like, I already have a date, and like next time I shouldn't be your last choice. So then she goes with Victor, which is one of the champions of the other schools, and so Harry gets him and Ron. They go with these twins, right?
Yeah. And
then when they get there, I think Harry dances with her a little bit. But then Ron's date is like, you want to dance? And Ron's like, fuck no.
Hell no.
Hit the curb. And then he like, dude, he's such a dick, dude. And he's just like being such a little bitch the whole time, dude. He sucks. I don't know how you can like him this movie, dude.
Okay. I didn't know you had such a hatred for this guy, this character.
Okay, I don't have hatred. He's just such a little bitch in this movie, You don't think so?
I guess so. I didn't really have that impression. I guess he is, from what he did to those girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know how spoilers, but I can't say it now.
I mean, I think I know what you're gonna say, but it's okay. We should probably not say that yet.
Yes. I mean, I liked it. It was not as confusing, I would say, as the other movies in the series. It's pretty straightforward. It's like, oh, there's this cup. There's these four contestants. You just, do these trials, and then you win. So it's really
Yeah.
nice, really straightforward. I guess a
Yeah.
lot of people don't like it because it doesn't have that much. I don't know, more storytelling. I guess it really lacked the like story driven aspect. Like this whole thing part was just to revive Voldemort, so it didn't really give much unless you talk about like
So
Harry Potter and his like strength, like you said before, his magical strength and stuff. It was nice to see,
I
but
mean,
I
so
didn't like the action.
I haven't finished the full series, so I think that this movie was like a nice way to close off like this because I feel like as we're gonna move forward, it seems like we're gonna have less and less to do with the school. It looks like
Yeah,
we're moving to like this whole war thing. So this felt like a nice way to give us like the school aspect of the magic, of being a magic school, and I feel like as soon as they grab the what do you call it, key the
keyboard.
the keyboard, I feel like the movie just changed tones. I feel like after the keyboard, it's just gotten so much darker and so much more serious and such higher stakes. So I feel like you could divide like the series so far into like as soon as they hit the keyboard, just a different movie now.
Yeah, as soon as Edward Collins died, that was it. The change,
Yeah,
the first death, Harry Potter's first death that he witnessed.
yeah. No, I like this movie. I honestly don't have as much a nitpick on this movie. Like I thought it was solid. I mean, Dumbledore is still as useless as ever. Snape still one of my favorite characters. Same with Sirius Black. Um, but yeah, I mean, what would you give it out of 10?
I don't know. I think it's my favorite movie. Maybe the last movie was better because of things that happened in the last movie, but this one was probably my second favorite. So like, I give it like out of the series, I'll probably give it like an 8 or 9.
That's not bad.
And movie overall, I don't know. Let's give it a 7.
I think overall, yeah, like a 7 for this series. Probably like an 8, yeah, as well. Maybe a 9. I thought it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Better pacing, great cast, and we finally get to see Harry's love interest, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can talk about the Order of the Phoenix now.
Yes. Order
Okay.
of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix, film number 5.
Film number 5. The intro. What was it?
Dude,
Something about
Dude, the intro was so weird. It was okay. So
him getting.
Harry's back at home.
Yeah.
Harry's back at home. First of all, why the fuck are you home, dude? Like, stop going home.
Yeah,
I mean,
Voldemort's out there.
I guess he's a minor, so I guess he has to do what they want him to do.
In the summer school, yeah, for summer, because there's no school during the summer.
Jeez, dude, I don't know. I feel like dude needs to just not be home. Like, that's not good for his mental health. It's not good for his happiness. But yeah, so he's at the park, and then his cousin's there bullying a little kid, and then his cousin is like just like a piece of shit, and is like,
What an asshole.
he's like, you wanna cry, Harry? You want to stand up for the little kid? You're so afraid of your pillow because you have nightmares.
How do you
Hey, look
remember
at
that
me, look at
detail?
me, look at me, look at me. I'm Harry. Cedric, don't die. Dude, and then he's like, "Where's your mommy?" And then Harry like pulls out his wand. I'm like, "Oh my god, Harry's gonna kill him." And then all of a sudden, is it that no Dementors, right?
Yeah,
Dementors.
well, one of the Dementors popped up.
2.
Oh, it's 2. Okay.
Yeah. So then they start chasing him and his cousin, and they finally get to a tunnel, and then they catch up to them, and then they start sucking their souls, and then Harry uses Patronus charm, and he's not supposed to use magic in front of muggles. By the way, I don't know if you knew that. Just according to dumb law, I guess. Oh no,
magical law.
So you can't use magic in front of muggles if you're under 17.
Yes.
Dude,
Age.
law pisses me off so much,
Law. It's how to keep order. You don't want kids to, just do dumb spells, just out of nowhere. So
yeah. So then he goes back home. He takes his cousin. His aunt is or whatever is like, "What'd you do to my little boy?" So they take him to the so when they're there, he gets a letter from like the ministry saying, "You did magic in front of a muggle. Now you're expelled." And Harry's like really sad. And then they're oh, before this, there's actually a witness there. There was because one of my first things when I was watching the movie was like, why did Dumbledore let him go home, dude? Like, you should have had like security on this guy 24/7. But Dumbledore did send someone useless, but whatever. Is so there's like a witness. So then, they take his cousin to the hospital, and then he's at home, and I think he's sleeping, and then he wakes up because some of his who was it? Was it Sirius Black? No, it was Moody and a bunch of other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Moody. A bunch of people from the Order of the Phoenix came for him.
Yeah. So then they get their brooms and they take Harry with them. They're like, "You're not expelled yet. You actually have like a trial." So they go to Sirius's house, which is technically the Order of the Phoenix's base, right?
Was that the bus scene? Is that the bus scene?
No. That the bus scene is. Bus scene is in the
long ago.
Third movie? I think third movie.
Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
I like that scene.
Yeah, good scene. I think the third movie. So then, so then they go to the base, and he overhears them having like a meeting about, you know, like what's going on and how do they fight against Voldemort. And turns out the Order of the Phoenix is like this vigilante secret organization that was made to fight against Voldemort because I guess once again government fucking useless, can't do anything, dude. Like, where's all the magic tax money going to? You know,
magic tax money.
Why does it come down to volunteers?
Where's
again,
the magic police? Where they at?
And then after that, he meets up with Hermione and Ron, in which they tell him like they wanted to write to him, but Dumbledore told him not to. And at that time, I was like, "Then, like before, Dumbledore was useless, but now Dumbledore's making sure that no one helps Harry." Part of me was like, maybe Dumbledore's a bad guy, because I actually for a second there I was like, is Dumbledore a bad guy? Maybe he's working with Voldemort.
Yeah.
But later in the movie, we find out why he did that. But at this point, we didn't know. So then, Ron's older siblings, the twins, they have like this little magic thing where they have like an ear in like a string, and they kind of put that in like the room where they're having a meeting, the adults, and they start hearing all this stuff about like, you know, whether or not Harry should know what's going on. And they're like, Harry's a kid, he's not a kid. And someone's like, well, he might not be a kid, but he's not a man yet, you know, he's an adult yet. And then I think after that they go to the city, right? They go to the city, they go to like the City Hall of Magic, and they have like they move his trial ahead 3 hours because they're just, you know, honestly, dude, like when I was watching this movie, I was like, dude, the Ministry of Magic are just Republicans, like straight up, like straight up, dude. Like what's the name? The lady, sorry, Dolores, what's her name? Dolores Umbridge. Yeah, dude, she sucks. She's like straight up the most Republican lady I've ever seen.
The most hated character in Harry Potter.
Yeah, the moment I saw her, I was like, anyways. So then they pull, you know how like the Republicans are known for like doing like gerrymandering and all this stuff to like obstruct like law taking place. So then they moved Harry's trial like 3 hours ahead to make sure that, to try to make it so that Dumbledore couldn't be there. But then Dumbledore still comes, defends Harry, provides a witness, and then Dumbledore just, for the first time, I'm like, okay, this guy's actually kind of useful. Dude should have been a lawyer instead of like a school principal, dude. Because headmaster, dog shit. Dumbledore as a lawyer, pretty poggers. Dude just like laid down the law. He was just like, first of all, I've got a witness. Secondly, why change the law? Thirdly, why are you guys having this, you know, this huge ass like trial for like such a misdemeanor, you know? Yeah. So then he was able to make it so they didn't expel him.
Back at school.
So then he's back at school, but then they introduce Dolores Umbridge as a new defense against the Dark Arts professor. Mm-hmm. And she was personally appointed by Cornelius Fudge, which I always thought Fudge's last name was weird. I don't know why. I didn't like that. That was the.
You don't like Fudge? What's wrong with Fudge?
I like Fudge. By the way, I don't think there's a Spanish word for fudge. By the way.
Okay. So did you just say fudge?
I just say like chocolate or caramel.
Okay. Yeah.
So then, so the first thing we see we see Dolores Umbridge and Dumbledore clash because she just like starts speaking over him, and then they have their first class in which she just wants to teach theory and doesn't want to teach any practice. And because during this whole time, they, there's like the mainstream media, the fake news are like, the Voldemort isn't back. They're like, this is just Harry Potter lying, Dumbledore lying. He's not back. So then they finally. So then, like, everyone's like, saying like, oh, Harry Potter's lying. He just wants attention. Voldemort isn't actually back. So then they send her kind of like to keep an eye on the people at the school, and then then she doesn't want to teach them magic because she just wants to follow like the curriculum from the state or whatever you want to call them. And everyone's like, Harry's like, hey, you need to teach us how to use magic to defend ourselves. She's like, defend yourselves against what? There's nothing out there. And then she's like, and then he's like, what about Voldemort? And then she gets pissed off and she's like, detention. So then he comes to her office later, and he's supposed to write, I will not tell lies. With like this like one of those like ink pens, like the feathers.
Fountain pen?
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then he's like, he's like, where's the ink? And she's like, you don't need ink. And then he starts writing it, and then turns out it uses his blood, right, or something like that.
Well, it writes on the thing he writes on the paper. He writes on his skin too.
Yeah,
so he gets a scar.
He gets a scar, and then Hermione and Ron see it, and they're like, you gotta tell someone. But Harry's like, nah, I don't want to distract Dumbledore. I don't want to cause any issues. So then, after that, he doesn't want to tell Dumbledore. Umbridge is like has like a confrontation with another professor, right? And she is able to pull some strings, right? To like, she gets promoted, and is putting all these new rules around the school, like no, I saw like no music, like no guys and girls within 6 inches, all these like rules. It was like no clubs.
Like all the plaques on the walls. That's great.
Yeah. I forgot, but she had all these rules, right? She's like, no hacky sack, like all this stuff. And then
no using magic.
Yeah, no using magic. And he's so then Ron and Hermione convince Harry that he needs to help Harry. That Harry needs to step up and teach people how to defend themselves. Yeah. And Harry doesn't want to, but eventually when they meet together like in a shack, and he is convinced with the help of what's his name, Looney something.
Luna?
I think Luna or something like that, right? Is that her name?
The girl that talks really softly that's introduced in this movie.
Yeah, is that her name? Looney.
Yes, she's very important later on. Her name is Luna. Luna Lovegood.
Oh, they call her Looney though.
Oh, is it Looney? Looney? Am I talking about the wrong person?
No, they call her Looney because she can see. There's this creature that you can only see if you've seen death.
Yes.
And only Harry and her have seen death.
In the beginning of the movie, yeah.
Yeah. So then, after that, they're talking, and then the students realize that Harry can teach them. So then they start looking for a place to teach students, right?
Yeah, and then boom.
Yeah, Neville finds like a secret room, right?
It's the secret room from isn't it from the previous movie? The second movie or something? Is it? Is it not?
The chamber?
Man, I'm going crazy.
It might be. I don't remember.
I thought it was the chamber from the second movie before going into the obelisk thing where he met the snake dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot. So then he recruits like 30 students, and he's teaching them all these spells.
Yeah.
And he's gassing them up. He's like, it doesn't matter how you wave your wand and stuff. What matters, girl, is that you believe in yourself, Joe. And then he does say that. Like, he's like, you just gotta believe in yourself. So then they're all like, I believe in myself now. So then they'll start doing spells. And at this point, I think Neville, right, is like sucking. He's not doing really well. And we also find out that his parents were killed by someone else, but we'll get into it in a bit. And then Umbridge starts recruiting students for extra credit to find to spy on the other students, right?
Yeah.
And then so Harry keeps teaching the students, and then Cho one day stays after class. Harry's like, "Yo, Cho, stay after class, girl." I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. But then so she stays after class, and he's like, they're looking at a picture of Cedric, and then she's like, "Oh, I wonder if Cedric knew this. If he knew this, I wonder if he could have been alive." And Harry's like, "Girl, I'm here. Stop thinking about that chump." And he's like, he already knew all that stuff. The only thing is Voldemort is which is really really strong. And then after that, magically mistletoe starts growing on top of him.
Mistletoes.
Yeah, mistletoe starts growing on top of him because they stay after class, and mistletoe starts growing on top of him, and they kiss.
Oh, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, they kiss.
Love, isn't that nice?
And Harry's like, "Girl, stay after class for more extra credit next time." And then, so then then later that night, Harry's falling asleep, and he has a vision of Ron's dad being attacked by a snake, right? And then he wakes up, and he goes to Dumbledore, and Dumbledore gets his painting buddies to go check on them. And turns out he was attacked by a snake, and he barely was able to survive because Harry was able to like alert Dumbledore right away. But Dumbledore tells Snape to teach Harry occlumency to defend his mind, right?
Yeah.
So he teaches Harry how to defend his mind from Voldemort's influence, and so he does that a few times, right? At the beginning, he's like, Harry can defend himself from Snape looking into his mind, and they practice. Eventually, I think they go to break. Yeah, they go on Christmas break, correct? And then when they go on Christmas break, they on Christmas break they go to I think Sirius Black's house, and then that's where Ron's dad is. He's kind of beat up, but they have a Christmas day and they eat together, and then Sirius walks Harry through the family tree, and that's where we learn about Beatrix, right? Which is, I guess, Sirius's sister or cousin, right? David?
So cousin who?
Beatrix.
Oh yeah.
And
is that when they get free, right?
Yeah, and then we see a scene. So one thing that I've learned from these movies is at this point, there's not a lot of misdirection. They literally tell you what's going on, but we're so used to misdirection that we don't pay attention. Like in the first movie, when they show up, not first, like I think the second or third movie, they show Pettigrew like early in the movie, but I chose not to like care about it. You know, in the last movie, they chose the junior guy, the son of the minister, whatever his name was, to like Barty Jr. They show Barty Jr. early in the movie, and we still choose to like I chose to like dismiss it because I was like, it's probably not important. And this movie they show Beatrix, so this time I was like, oh, she's gonna be important. And a few scenes later they show them escaping from Azkaban. So then but at this point they blame it on Sirius Black because they're like, he's the only one that's escaped, and they still don't want to acknowledge that Voldemort's back.
Yeah.
So then
they come back.
Yes, they come back. And then Umbridge finally finds the classroom where they're practicing their magic.
Because a fucking traitor. Yeah,
because fucking Cho, dude. You can't trust these girls, dude.
You just say you can't trust women.
No, I said. Okay, for legal purposes, I'm joking. Okay, I'm just trying to be funny. Okay, I'm just trying to be funny. Okay, but I'm just trying to play this character where it's like you can't trust these girls. You know,
we're real sexist.
I'm not.
But
men are trash. Okay, burn all men too.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, she does betray Harry and expose the army.
Yeah, so they knock down the walls, and you see Cho just standing there because she's a fucking snitch. Just kidding.
That's when they broke up. They don't see each other anymore.
Yeah, they broke up because of that small little fling. And with Dumbledore's army exposed, they want to go and arrest Dumbledore.
Yeah,
Right?
he has to flee.
So then he flees with like some phoenix thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then
he just collapses.
yeah, guess who's the next headmaster?
Yeah, and then Umbridge becomes a headmaster, and things look fucking terrible. I think at this point, everyone's just like, it just looks like a prison in there.
Yeah, it's not a school anymore; it's a prison.
But then Ron's brothers, they're like, hey, I don't care about school. We're graduating, senioritis. Let's be honest, we're not going to college. We're dumb as shit. So then they just start like a riot, right? They just start like destroying the school with like magic and shit. And then the whole school, like, it leaves the school and everyone's like partying, and Umbridge is pissed off. But then when they're celebrating, Harry has a vision of Sirius Black being hurt, similar to the vision he had of Ron's father. So he tells Ron and Hermione, and they go up the stairs. So they try to go to Umbridge's office because they're like, oh, we can tell that we can use that to communicate, to check on him. But when they get there, Umbridge is there, and she wants to use. She calls Snape, and she's like, give me some more of that truth juice. And Snape is like, I wish. Oh, before we get to that point, sorry, there's one last thing. So, before we continue, right before this all happened,
all over the place, Roberto.
Sorry, before this happens, I think I'm doing better with this movie. But right before this happens, Snape, is training with Harry, and he's telling Harry, "You suck. You're weak," and he tries to use like the mind control spell, and then Harry's able to deflect it and use it on him. And he finds out that Snape actually used to get bullied all the time. And to be fair, I feel bad, but there is a scene where Snape has toilet paper attached to his shoe, and that's pretty bullyable, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you know, if you're gonna have toilet paper stuck to your shoe, you're gonna get bullied. You know, double check your shoes when you leave the bathroom. All I'm saying, dude. Okay, it's not that hard.
He gets bullied by Harry's dad, okay?
Oh, yeah, and the big twist is that he gets bullied by Harry's dad. And
that's why he doesn't like Harry, apparently.
Yeah, which was pretty sad, actually, because I thought Harry's dad was supposed to be a class act guy, but he was kind of a dick.
Yeah, now you know. He's a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick.
It's really important to the story of Snape. Yeah.
But we know that Harry's dad's a dick, and Snape is like, I'm pissed off. So he's like, your training's done.
Yeah.
Fast forward to where we were. They're in Umbridge's office, and they call Snape, and Snape is like, I'm out of the truth juice. You used my last bit of truth juice with Cho. So us as viewers realize that that's how Cho betrayed Harry.
Yeah, that's how we know women aren't, you know. Just kidding.
That's when we take it back and we say women and men are both just as bad.
Sure.
There's good men and good women, and bad men and there's good people and bad people. Let's just leave it at that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think your gender correlates to whether or not you're a good person or not.
Okay. Anyway, so they trick Umbridge, right?
Yeah. So then Hermione is like, Dumbledore's secret weapons in the forest, and at that point they trick her. And she gets picked up by Hagrid's brother.
Yeah, the thing is so dumb. Why would she go by herself? Like, she's the headmaster. She could like ask like a bunch of staff to go with her, but she just goes by herself with Harry and Hermione. And it's like, okay, there's no problem at all. Let's go into this dark forest.
Did she have staff? I mean, she had followers, but I don't think she had like. I feel like no one liked her.
I guess. She could at least have backup.
I agree with you that scene was very like Deus Ex Machina, which is like convenient because there was like so Hagrid's brother, who's a giant, picks her up, but that's not how she gets caught. She gets caught because she was rude to like these centaurs, and these centaurs, they just pick her up and steal her.
That was the most satisfying scene of the movie. She just gets picked up by two centaurs, and she gets dragged out of the screen. It was great.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, I hope she dies, but I mean,
I think she dies. But
anyway,
no, she sucked, dude. She's the worst. She was pissing me off the whole movie.
Yeah.
So after they get rid of her, I think Harry. So this is Harry, Hermione, Ron, Luna, Neville, and Ginny fly to the Ministry of Magic on Thestral because they want to save Sirius, right?
Magical horses, yeah, because of the vision.
So then they arrive, but they realize that the vision was actually not true.
It was a trap. Oh, surprise.
Yeah, it was trapped. So then Harry goes to the bottle prophecy with his name. And right before he can listen to it, right, he is ambushed by like Lucius Malfoy, which I guess we should have known from day one he was the bad guy.
Yeah.
And Bellatrix Lestrange, which they talked about earlier through Sirius's Black Family Tree. So then Lucius reveals that Harry's vision of Sirius being tortured was actually like a switch and bait.
Yeah.
Harry doesn't want to tell Lucius the prophecy, and then they start fighting. Dumbledore's army, which is Harry and friends, start fighting with the Death Eaters.
Yeah.
So there's like a huge fight. It's just like a huge fight between them and Harry. Harry finds out that prophecy said, what did the prophecy say exactly? I know it's like essentially saying that neither can live while the other survives.
Yeah, they were like part of each other kind of thing.
So then at the beginning it's like, so they finally beat Harry and friends. Harry's about to hand over the prophecy, but then the Order of the Phoenix arrives, right?
Yeah, it's so cool. It's like
it was pretty cool. And they start fighting, and then Sirius like dismantles Lucius Malfoy just to have Beatrix do the Abracadabra spell, and he dies super anticlimactic.
Dude, rip him.
Yeah, I was sad.
He just falls into like the door dimension thing, and he's gone, never to be seen again.
Yeah, so that was pretty sad.
It was really sad. Yeah, father figure.
Then I think Harry goes after her, right, and he's trying to like destroy her, but then I think Voldemort is like baiting him, right?
What do you mean?
Like Voldemort was trying to tell him he needs to mean it.
Yeah.
To, like, actually. And so then he starts he's about to kill Harry, but then Dumbledore arrives.
Yes, the best magical fight in the series.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Like, I mean, this movie has done a lot to redeem Dumbledore, because he kind of later admits that the reason why he's so distant from Harry was because of that connection between him and Dumbledore, and they wanted to make sure the Voldemort couldn't use that against him, right?
Yeah.
So it finally made sense, this movie, why Dumbledore was so useless until he wasn't.
Yeah, with that fight. It
still doesn't clear up why he was so useless in the past movies, but that's
true. Fine.
I mean, and then so they start fighting. Bellatrix escapes, and so then the two movies are like, so they're like fighting, and they're like evenly matched, and then Voldemort tries to possess Harry's body, right?
Yeah, so Dumbledore can't finish off like
Voldemort, and then losing, but then Harry, I remember Harry's like he's like scared, and then you see Harry, like you see Voldemort in Harry's body, and it's pretty scary because you're like, oh shit, like is Dumbledore gonna have to kill Harry? But then Harry's like, I feel bad for you, Voldemort. You've never had friends. You have no friends. You're a loser. No. You've never been loved. So then he's able to kick out Voldemort out of his body, right?
Reverse psychology, yeah, I guess.
So then as soon as he leaves his body, you see the Ministry of Magic arrive.
Yeah, and he escapes. Of course.
He escapes. And then so Fudge admits that Voldemort's back. I think he resigns in disgrace.
Can't deny it now once you see him in person.
Umbridge leaves, and Dumbledore returns as like the headmaster.
Yeah.
And then
it's all good in games, it's all fun.
It was probably like the most sad ending out of all of them, right?
Yeah, it left a lot of things like to be answered. It's like, what happened to Voldemort? What's gonna happen to the school now? And is Sirius Black actually dead? Kind of thing, It's a lot of stuff.
The prophecy, I mean, like I said, this movie has been very good at literally spelling out what's gonna happen. So this means that Harry has to kill Voldemort, or someone has to kill Voldemort, because that's the prophecy.
Yeah, they can't both live. So we'll see.
What you think of the movie?
It's a lot of shit happens, and I hate it because there's the the most hateable character there, the most slappable character, you know. Rich, I was like, I don't know why, but the actress so I don't know what her name is, but the actress is so good at portraying this hateable character so well. So it was nice. I mean, other than that, it got a lot more action scenes. Like I think trying to prevent spoilers, but I think the fight between Dumbledore and Voldemort was like probably the best fight in the series. I would say it was pretty cool, and how like magic can be. I wish there were more like magic scenes like that, but I guess I don't know, budget or something. They want the fancy magic.
Yes, Voldemort turned into a whole ass snake.
Yeah, it's cool. Other than that, we get more background on Voldemort and Snape too. I think you really like what happens to Snape in the next movies. So I can't wait for you. I liked it.
No, I still enjoy the movie. It was a good watch. I still think I'm still kind of tied between this movie and the previous movie as to which one I like more. I didn't quite. I feel like as we speak about them, I feel like Order of the Phoenix is probably a little bit better for my taste. I think which is more well rounded as a film. And I'm starting to like. They have all these little details that I really really like. Just seeing the juxtaposition between like the Muggle world and the magic world, and we get to see this movie along with like small little things that can be fun, like the earpiece, like they have like the ear on the string to spy on the meeting, and like I finally seen Harry step up, and I mean if anything. This movie has really, just watching the movies back to back has shown us the progression of not only Daniel Radcliffe as a actor, but also Harry Potter as Harry as a character.
Mage.
So good movie. I think I want to see what happens in the next movie. I heard I know there's time travel. Someone spoiled that for me. I don't know what happens, but I don't want to know yet. I'm gonna try to watch the next 3 movies soon.
Okay. Wait, I guess there is. Is that the 6th movie?
I don't know. I think the next one is what's the next movie called? Is it I forgot the name of the next movie.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But no, I'm starting to see the big deal when it comes to Harry Potter.
Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood Prince.
Oh yeah, that's when. Oh, you're gonna love this next movie. I think you're really gonna love. Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Okay. Can't wait. I think the just keeps getting better. The first couple movies, all right. I think the 4th movie was. I don't know. I liked it a lot, and then it just keeps getting better. I think. It keeps getting better.
No, yeah. I'm liking it. I really don't have much to say. The first 2 movies pissed me off so much, so I had so much to say. But these movies. I'm starting to understand the universe, and I'm not as shocked by the fact that there's Christmas in these movies.
But, from last time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still, good movies.
Keep it up. It gets better.
Okay. I'm excited.
You okay?
Is there anything you want to say? Should we round it out? We've been going at it for a while now.
Yeah, it's way over our time limit here.
These movies are so fucking long, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, to try. I'm really glad they split the last movie in half because there's so much in the last book that happens that unveils at the end. So I think that's like one of the first movies that had like a part 1 and part 2, right?
Yeah, it's the only one that has a part 1, part 2.
I think so it's
where does Fantastic Beasts fall in all this?
It's in a whole different type of magic area. So you have Hogwarts, and then there's other spot. So it happens at the same time. No, not the same time as Harry, but at the same time period, I guess, if that makes sense. Because the people have you watched Fantastic Beasts?
No, but I'll probably watch it after.
Yeah, they know the existence of Hogwarts and stuff, but it's more. I guess it's more adult here because there's no kids. It's like the main character is an adult, and he cares of this thing. I like it. It's pretty nice. I think there's a sequel coming up soon too for that movie. Yeah.
But okay, David, wrap it up. Take us out. It's fun getting back into it. I kind of feel bad because I feel like we were finally getting a groove on, and now it's been 2 months, and we're gonna have to find it again, dude.
Yeah, I think doing podcast like once or twice a month would be good because our schedule is getting busier. I'm trying to do stuff on my end, and so are you probably. So we're trying to figure things out. But we're here. We're back again. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to our podcast. I'm David. That's Robbie over there. And I appreciate all of you guys for watching.
And my social security number is.
Oh,
just
yeah.
kidding.
Thanks for staying this long. You can have Roberto's social security number. Here you go.
Just kidding.
All right.
It's fun.
Remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Okay.
Bye.
Peace.